If you like Pokemon but find it too easy and wish that it didn't all feel like the same game, perhaps you play them as a Nuzlocke, forcing your Pokemon to leave after fainting in battle. Do I have the game for you? Before we begin, I think it's important to note that the last Pokemon title that I committed a significant amount of time to was Generation 4's Diamond and Pearl. Okay, Coromon is a recently released title with a new IP that addresses some of the main issues that Pokemon has, such as difficulty, HM slaving, and even gyms feeling a bit lackluster. Now, you aren't going to find an in-depth story, just another bad guy taking over the world, but you'll find quality of life upgrades that you've probably been asking for in Pokemon titles. Structurally, Coromon plays like other Pokemon games. Collect Coromon, battle them with other trainers, evolve them, and learn new skills, much of the same. You'll navigate a roughly 20-hour journey across several regions, each with unique Coromon to the area as you attempt to upgrade your team or catch them all. There are several side quests that you can complete that give you access to unique items or recovery items. This is a first major deviation that I have from Pokemon titles. This game is difficult, so I would recommend being prepared for that. Going on, you can fast travel to and from health centers, and it even includes online battling for those that prefer their games to be a bit more competitive. You'll be tasked with capturing all of the Titan Souls, and these serve as what would be gym leaders. These boss battles are brutal, and will oftentimes require you to switch between Coromon to counter-type, inflict status effects, and to weaker Coromon to withstand stronger blows. Lastly, using a lot of those aforementioned recovery items. Okay, here are the best parts of the game, and there are too many to cover, so I'll be quick to cover just the main points. For starters, insane difficulty. This difficulty allows you to have only one Coromon per region, and if it faints in battle, it is released back into the wild. This is essentially a Nuzlocke built into the game. This is how I have historically played Pokemon titles, so it felt right at home, grinding and all. The next big pro was that you can increase both movement and battle speed up to 3 times the original amount. This allowed you to speed up the unnecessary parts of the game, go through it faster, or more importantly, address the grinding issue to level up your Coromon when needed. The game has potential levels outside of regular Coromon levels, which will allow you to manually increase any desired stats. This is essentially the IVs of the game. The last big thing that I wanted to mention in this pros section is that the game effectively eliminates the need for having Coromon that exclusively exist for HMs, as they are tied to your gauntlet. There is also an additional ability that increases the level of Coromon that you encounter, allowing for better grinding. There are only a few pitfalls in this game, many of which are not direct downsides hurting the game, but are underwhelming to say the least. The first is the story. There's nothing groundbreaking here, but I will say the story does utilize the environments well with the puzzles that you find them in. Another is that there are a few challenges that are insanely difficult. You'll have to save scum quite a bit if you are on insane difficulty. On that note, there's one specific thing that requires you to capture a specific Coromon. Given that on the hardest difficulty, you can only capture one random Coromon per area, you can see how this can be a problem. There is a workaround, but I won't spoil too much. That's really all there is. Fundamentally, there are no glaring flaws with this game. You'll need to grind in the hardest difficulty, so much so that roughly 3 to 4 hours of my playtime was grinding to level up all of my Coromon for the upcoming boss battles. This is one of the best games that I played in the year, and that's not overstating a thing. I would say that for anyone who played Pokemon growing up and became disillusioned with it for one reason or another, I could not imagine a better way of reliving that feeling. While I consistently say that it was a 20-hour experience for me, it's important to note here that I was playing at 3 times speed, and at $4.99 for the full experience, I can easily say it was worth every penny and then some. I could spend significantly more time talking about it, but if you're not convinced yet, there isn't much more that I could add. I would recommend this game for anyone looking to add a gem to their mole library.